50 amp breaker box. This is the second one I put in. The first one I ended up tearing out the side and mounting it sideways on the deck, and it was under cover, so it really wasn't a problem. But these knockouts are not knockouts. You're going to have to, I drilled holes in the knockout so I could fit this thing in there, and then took a pair of pliers and kept working with it and bent it until I could get this wire holder in there. And you can see the bottom, I knocked out the welds along the bottom, so I can just take this bottom out now. The inside, and I'll show you why later. The inside, this thing is supposed to come up. You hook your wires in and you place it back in there. The problem is the wires are so stiff, that's why I took out the bottom. You can't put your wires in and then bend this thing back. There ain't enough room there, and it won't work. And this little green wire, the ground, was hooked in right there, so that's another limit to what you can do. And this ground wire, it's going to be grounded. You can take that wire loose and just throw it away, because when you hook the ground wire in, you can hook it straight into here, and it will ground through this copper lead here to this, which is mounted to metal, which is going to be mounted in the box. So it's still going to be grounded. So this green wire and that lug back there, you don't really need to use it. Electrician might tell you, yeah, go ahead and use it because you got a better ground, but you're going to be grounded whether you put it in there or not. If you've got this metal strip on here, and if you pull that loose, then you're going to have a problem. You're not going to be grounded. But as long as that's there, because this goes through to this screw, which is hooked to the wire, the ground wire, just slide the bottom down over your wire and let it sit there. Then the bottom part of the box ain't going to be in your way while you're hooking this up. You want to get an idea of where to cut each wire off. The ground is going to be right here. It's going to go around the side right here, and then you got your black and your red and the neutral. Black and the red are both hot, and the neutral is the neutral, the white. And so I'm going to cut the red off a little bit shorter, and the black and the white. That way I won't have tension when I put them in and tighten those screws down. I won't have tension on one wire that's a little shorter that's going to pull the other wire out. That's the problem I had when I went to hook it up. You get the screws torqued down, you're messing with another wire trying to put it in there, and then the one you just torqued down pulls back out. So that didn't work out too good. When you're stripping your wires, you want to be careful not to cut the wire itself. So I just went around and kind of scored this edge all the way around, and then cut right down through the middle. And then you can peel this edge off, and then you still got good wire there to use. I don't have a wire stripper big enough for this wire, so that's why I'm using this. Inside of this little place where the wires go, you can see a screw going right down through the middle. instead of trying to cram all the wires on one side like I was trying to do last time. There's 7 strands in each wire. So I put 3 on one side, 4 on one side. Now what I'm going to do is put part of them on each side of the screw and then torque the screws down. I put the 3 wires in and I've got them torqued down. Now it's just a matter of hooking up the ground. And you want to get a good firm grip on your screwdriver and use a decent screwdriver, because once it slips, you're going to have a problem with stripping out your screw head. That's the problem I had with the last one. This is the second one. The first one, see these screw heads? I didn't want to risk using this and trying to get a good tight twist on it. So I just, and I might use this one later on, just get some more screws to go in there, because I'm going to put in another one of these on another part of the property. And it's a good idea to use some grease, dioelectric grease. Keep things from getting corroded in the future, if I got any in here. I'm going to mount this metal plate back on here. Now I'm going to kind of get an idea of where my box is going, so I don't put tension on the wire. Get me a mark here. Whenever I chiseled out this bottom, I put it in a vise. You can see some marks on the side where I had it in a vise upside down. And I took a wood chisel and broke these wells. It had 2 wells on the side and 1 in the back. And then I drilled some holes in the bottom of the box on each side so that I could put this bottom back in there. Whenever you do this, it would probably be a good idea to drill the holes before you chisel the bottom out and break those wells. That way you got your holes lined up. I'm using these little self-tapping screws, but I'm drilling pilot holes. And the reason why I say you want to drill your holes before you knock that bottom out and break those wells, see, I was too high right there, and it went over the top of that little lip to catch the bottom. Same thing right there. The other side, I happened to get it right, but you can kind of calculate whenever you're knocking that bottom out, before you knock the bottom out, to see where those holes need to be and go ahead and drill a pilot hole. Now the installation's complete. The only thing left to do, tighten up them two little screws right there.